What if everything you owned had to be traded for something else? Long before coins, paper money, and digital payments, people relied on barter to survive. The history of money is a story of trust, trade, and innovation that transformed simple exchanges into the global financial systems we know today. Join us as we journey through thousands of years to discover how money evolved and changed the course of human civilization. Before money, before kings, before cities, humanity lived by one simple rule: survive. Across vast wildernesses, our ancestors hunted wild animals, gathered fruits, and searched endlessly for food. Every sunrise meant another fight against nature itself. Nothing belonged to one person alone. Food, tools, and shelter were shared among families because survival depended on cooperation, not wealth. As tribes grew larger, people began exchanging what they had for what they needed. A hunter traded fresh meat for handcrafted tools. A fisher exchanged dried fish for warm animal skins. This simple practice became known as barter. But barter had a flaw. What if the farmer needed tools, but the blacksmith wanted grain instead of fruit? Trade depended on both people wanting exactly what the other possessed. Too often, exchanges simply failed. Human civilization had reached a turning point. To build larger communities, stronger economies, and thriving civilizations, people needed something everyone could trust: a universal way to exchange value. That search would eventually give birth to one of humanity's greatest inventions: money. Nearly 5,000 years ago, between the mighty Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a new civilization emerged. Mesopotamia, the cradle of human civilization, would forever change the way people traded, measured wealth, and built economies. As trade flourished, memory was no longer enough. Skilled scribes pressed tiny symbols into soft clay tablets, creating the world's first written records of transactions, debts, harvests, and commerce. In Mesopotamia, wealth wasn't measured in coins. Instead, grain became one of the earliest forms of currency. Farmers paid workers, settled debts, and traded goods using barley, an everyday crop that everyone valued. For larger transactions, merchants turned to silver. Not coins, but carefully weighed pieces of precious metal. Every trade depended on trusted scales, making weight, not shape, the true measure of value. From clay records to measured silver, Mesopotamia laid the foundation for accounting, banking, and commerce. Long before coins existed, humanity had already begun building the financial systems that would shape the modern world. Around 2,600 years ago, in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, located in what is now Western Turkey, a revolutionary idea was born. One small invention would forever transform trade, wealth, and the course of civilization: the coin. Under the reign of the legendary King Croesus, Lydia refined one of history's greatest financial innovations. Instead of weighing raw metal for every transaction, the kingdom produced standardized coins made from pure gold and silver, each guaranteed by royal authority. For the first time in history, every coin carried a trusted value. A merchant no longer needed scales or lengthy negotiations. One stamped coin represented wealth, accepted by strangers across the kingdom. The invention of coins sparked an economic revolution. Trade expanded across kingdoms, markets flourished, and wealth could finally move quickly from one civilization to another. Money had become portable, trusted, and universal. From the first Lydian coins to the currencies we use today, this simple invention reshaped commerce, strengthened empires, and connected civilizations across continents. The birth of the coin marked the beginning of the modern financial world. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched across 3 continents, ruling nearly 1/4 of the world's population. But behind its mighty legions and towering monuments stood an invisible force that held the empire together: money. The Romans minted millions of gold, silver, and bronze coins bearing the image of their emperors. These coins traveled farther than any army, connecting distant provinces through a single trusted currency and reinforcing the authority of Rome itself. Taxes flowed into Rome from every corner of the empire. That wealth paid for roads, aqueducts, grand cities, and the powerful Roman legions. Every soldier received regular wages, keeping the world's most disciplined army loyal to the emperor. But as wars became more expensive, emperors reduced the silver content of their coins while keeping the same face value. Prices soared, trust disappeared, and inflation spread across the empire, weakening the economy from within. As confidence in Rome's currency crumbled, so did the empire's financial foundation. Trade declined, armies weakened, and once mighty Rome began its long descent into history, proving that even the greatest empire can fall when trust in its money is lost. For more than 15 centuries, a vast network of trade routes stretched across deserts, mountains, and empires. Known as the Silk Road, it connected east and west, transforming distant civilizations into trading partners and changing the course of history forever. From the workshops of ancient China came the world's most treasured luxury, silk. Alongside jade, porcelain, and delicate works of art, these priceless goods traveled thousands of miles, captivating kingdoms that had never seen such beauty. In return, merchants from Persia, India, Arabia, and Rome exchanged gold, silver, precious gems, spices, glassware, and fine metals. Every journey carried not only wealth, but trust between civilizations separated by thousands of miles. The Silk Road carried far more than merchandise. It became a highway for ideas, inventions, religions, languages, and cultures. Paper, gunpowder, mathematics, and knowledge crossed continents, shaping civilizations for generations to come. The Silk Road transformed local economies into a global marketplace. It proved that prosperity grows when nations connect through commerce, laying the foundation for the international trade and financial systems that power our world today. Over 1,000 years ago, the booming markets of ancient China faced an unexpected problem. Merchants carried heavy strings of bronze coins across mountains and rivers. As trade expanded, wealth became too heavy to move. The world needed a better idea. During the Tang Dynasty, trusted merchants began issuing handwritten paper receipts. Instead of carrying sacks of coins, traders exchanged these notes as proof of value, a simple idea that would inspire the future of money. By the Song Dynasty, the Chinese government transformed private receipts into the world's first officially printed paper money. Every note carried government authority, making trade faster, safer, and more efficient than ever before. Advanced printing technology allowed thousands of identical banknotes to be produced with remarkable precision. What once required bags of metal could now fit inside a traveler's robe, fueling commerce across one of history's greatest economies. China's invention of paper money transformed the global economy forever. Centuries later, kingdoms, empires, and modern nations would adopt the same revolutionary idea, proving that sometimes the lightest invention carries the greatest value. For over 6,000 years, one metal has captured humanity's imagination. It does not rust, it does not fade, and its brilliant glow has inspired kings, conquerors, and dreamers alike. That metal is gold, the timeless symbol of wealth and power. In ancient Egypt, gold was more than wealth. It was believed to be the flesh of the gods. Pharaohs filled magnificent tombs with golden treasures, convinced that its eternal beauty would accompany them into the afterlife. As civilizations expanded, gold became the language of power. Emperors minted dazzling coins, kingdoms filled vast treasuries, and mighty empires measured their strength by the gold they controlled. Centuries later, the discovery of gold sparked massive migrations across continents. From California to Australia, thousands risked everything in search of fortune, transforming quiet frontiers into booming cities almost overnight. Today, gold remains one of the world's most trusted stores of value. Locked inside central bank vaults and held by investors across the globe, its brilliance continues to symbolize stability in an ever-changing financial world. But protecting mountains of gold required more than vaults. It required trusted institutions. From the bustling cities of medieval Europe, a new idea emerged that would reshape commerce forever: the birth of banking. As Europe's economy awakened from the Middle Ages, the thriving cities of northern Italy became the heart of commerce. In Florence and Venice, merchants searched for a safer way to protect their wealth, giving rise to an invention that would shape the modern financial world: the bank. Money changers sat behind wooden benches in busy marketplaces, exchanging coins from kingdoms across Europe. These humble benches became known as banca, the Italian word that would eventually become the modern word, bank. In Florence, one family transformed banking into a global enterprise. The Medici built a network of financial institutions across Europe, financing kings, supporting artists, and proving that wealth could shape politics, culture, and history itself. Banks offered more than secure storage. They introduced loans, letters of credit, and financial trust, allowing merchants to travel farther, invest more boldly, and expand trade across continents without carrying chests of gold. From the merchant benches of medieval Italy grew an institution that still shapes our lives today. Every savings account, business loan, and international transfer traces its roots back to the pioneers who transformed trust into the world's most valuable currency. As banks grew more powerful, nations began creating institutions to manage entire economies. A new era was about to begin, one of central banks, national currencies, and the financial systems that would shape the modern world. By the late 17th century, global trade was expanding faster than ever before. Kingdoms needed stronger financial systems to fund governments, support commerce, and stabilize their economies. A new era of banking was about to begin. In 1694, the Bank of England was established to help finance the government and strengthen the nation's economy. It became one of the world's first central banks, issuing trusted banknotes and laying the foundation for modern financial systems. Inspired by England's success, nations across Europe established their own national banks. These institutions safeguarded wealth, managed currencies, and gave governments the financial tools to build roads, industries, and expanding economies. Banks introduced powerful financial tools. Loans helped entrepreneurs build businesses. Interest rewarded savers while funding future growth. Credit allowed people to invest today and repay tomorrow, fueling innovation and prosperity across generations. From handwritten ledgers to instant digital transfers, modern banking became the engine of the global economy. Every paycheck, mortgage, business investment, and online payment traces its roots to the financial revolution that began centuries ago. As banks grew stronger, one precious metal stood behind the value of nations. Governments promised that every banknote could be exchanged for gold, creating a system that would dominate the global economy for centuries: the gold standard. For nearly a century, the world's greatest economies placed their trust in one precious metal. Under the gold standard, every paper banknote represented a fixed amount of gold stored safely inside national vaults, making money a promise backed by tangible wealth. By tying their currencies to gold, governments created a system built on confidence. Stable exchange rates encouraged international trade, reassured investors, and gave businesses a common foundation for commerce across continents. The gold standard brought remarkable financial discipline. Prices remained relatively stable, inflation stayed low, and people trusted that their money held real value. Gold became the silent anchor of the global economy. But the system had limits. During wars and economic crises, governments needed more money than their gold reserves could support. Growth slowed, financial pressure mounted, and the rigid system became increasingly difficult to maintain. One by one, nations abandoned the gold standard, allowing currencies to float independently. Although gold no longer directly backed everyday money, its legacy endures, reminding the world that trust, not metal alone, is the true foundation of every financial system. The collapse of the gold standard was only one chapter in financial history. Soon, the world would face an even greater challenge: a devastating economic disaster that would shake banks, destroy fortunes, and forever change how governments manage money. In October 1929, a wave of panic swept across Wall Street. Investors rushed to sell their stocks, prices collapsed within days, and one of the worst financial disasters in history began. The Great Depression had arrived. As panic spread, thousands of banks ran out of cash. Families rushed to withdraw their savings, but many institutions closed their doors forever. In moments, countless people lost everything they had worked for. Businesses closed, factories fell silent, and unemployment reached record levels. Millions searched desperately for jobs, while families struggled to find food, shelter, and hope during the darkest years of the economic crisis. Governments responded with ambitious recovery programs. Massive public works projects created jobs, rebuilt infrastructure, and restored confidence. Slowly, economies began to recover as hope returned to millions of lives. The Great Depression transformed global finance forever. Stronger banking regulations, deposit insurance, and economic safeguards emerged to protect future generations. It remains a powerful reminder that trust, stability, and sound financial systems are essential for every economy. Just as the world recovered from economic collapse, another conflict would reshape global finance forever. World War II would give rise to a new monetary order, one centered on a single currency that would dominate the world for decades. As World War II drew to a close, much of Europe and Asia lay in ruins. Nations needed a new financial system to rebuild shattered economies, restore global trade, and prevent another worldwide economic collapse. In 1944, delegates from 44 nations gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Together, they designed a new international monetary system, placing the US dollar at the center of global finance, with its value linked to gold. As America's economy emerged stronger than any other after the war, central banks began holding US dollars as their primary reserve currency. International trade increasingly relied on the dollar, making it the foundation of the post-war global economy. In the 1970s, another milestone strengthened the dollar's global influence. International oil transactions were widely priced in US dollars, encouraging countries around the world to hold dollar reserves for energy purchases and international commerce. Today, the US dollar remains one of the world's most widely used currencies in international trade, finance, and foreign exchange reserves. Its journey from a post-war agreement to a global financial cornerstone demonstrates how confidence and cooperation can shape the world economy. As money became increasingly digital, a new invention challenged the traditional financial system. In 2009, an anonymous creator introduced a currency with no central bank, no government, and no borders: Bitcoin. For centuries, people carried coins, paper money, and checks. But in the mid-20th century, a simple piece of plastic would revolutionize spending forever. The age of the credit card had begun. Early charge cards allowed customers to buy now and pay later at participating businesses. As the idea spread, financial institutions created larger payment networks, making cashless transactions faster, easier, and more convenient than ever before. Global payment networks transformed credit cards into an international financial tool. Millions of businesses accepted card payments, allowing travelers and consumers to make purchases across cities, countries, and continents with remarkable convenience. Credit cards expanded purchasing power, helping families and businesses finance everyday needs. But easy access to borrowing also introduced new challenges, as unpaid balances and high interest could lead to growing consumer debt. Responsible financial decisions became more important than ever. Today, physical cards are rapidly giving way to smartphones, smartwatches, and digital wallets. With a single tap, billions of transactions move instantly around the world, proving that the future of money is becoming faster, smarter, and increasingly invisible. As physical wallets became less important, an even more radical idea emerged. A digital currency with no banks, no governments, and no borders would challenge everything we thought we knew about money. In the 1990s, a new digital frontier emerged. The internet connected billions of people, transforming communication, business, and eventually the way money moved around the world. Commerce was no longer limited by geography. It had entered the digital age. Banks embraced the internet, allowing customers to check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills from home. Tasks that once required long lines at a branch could now be completed with just a few clicks. Digital payment platforms made online shopping simple and secure. Consumers could purchase books, electronics, clothing, and countless other products from home, while e-commerce marketplaces connected buyers and sellers across the globe. Small businesses gained access to international customers, while global companies expanded beyond physical storefronts. Digital commerce broke down barriers, creating a marketplace that operated 24 hours a day across every time zone. Today, digital commerce powers much of the global economy. From online banking to instant payments and mobile shopping, technology has transformed how people earn, spend, and invest. The internet didn't just change business, it redefined money itself. As the internet revolutionized commerce, another breakthrough emerged that removed the need for banks altogether. A mysterious creator introduced a decentralized digital currency that would spark one of the biggest financial debates in modern history. In the aftermath of the 2008 global financial crisis, confidence in traditional banking was shaken. Amid uncertainty, an anonymous creator using the name Satoshi Nakamoto introduced a bold new vision: digital money that could operate without a central authority. In 2009, Bitcoin came to life. Every transaction was recorded on a blockchain, a decentralized digital ledger shared across thousands of computers, making the system transparent, secure, and resistant to tampering. Unlike traditional currencies printed by governments, new bitcoins are created through a process known as mining. Powerful computers solve complex mathematical problems, validating transactions and helping secure the entire network. Bitcoin inspired an entirely new generation of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. Around the world, investors, businesses, and developers explored new possibilities for digital payments, decentralized finance, and borderless transactions. Bitcoin remains one of the most influential financial innovations of the 21st century. Whether viewed as digital gold, a speculative investment, or a technological breakthrough, it has transformed conversations about money, ownership, and the future of the global economy. Bitcoin proved that money could exist without paper or coins, but the next revolution is already unfolding. Governments around the world are now developing their own digital currencies, bringing us closer than ever to a future where cash may disappear entirely. Money has evolved from shells and gold to paper, plastic, and digital code. Now, humanity stands at the edge of another transformation, one where technology could redefine every transaction, every wallet, and every economy on Earth. Around the world, central banks are exploring central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Unlike cryptocurrencies, these digital forms of national currency are issued and backed by governments, aiming to combine the convenience of digital payments with the stability of traditional money. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing financial services. Intelligent systems detect fraud in real time, automate investments, personalize financial advice, and help banks process millions of transactions faster and more securely than ever before. Across many parts of the world, physical cash is becoming less common. Smartphones, biometric authentication, wearable devices, and digital wallets allow people to pay instantly with a tap, a fingerprint, or even facial recognition. No one can predict exactly what the future of money will look like. Whether powered by digital currencies, artificial intelligence, blockchain, or innovations yet to be imagined, one thing remains constant: money will continue to evolve alongside human civilization, shaping the way we live, trade, and dream. From seashells traded by ancient civilizations to intelligent digital currencies crossing the globe in milliseconds, the story of money is the story of humanity itself. Every invention, every revolution, and every innovation has reflected our endless pursuit of trust, value, and progress. As the next chapter unfolds, one question remains: what will money become tomorrow?